Blizzard are currently in a death spiral where they lose subscribers, so they realize they got to change something, but make the wrong decision, so they lose more subscribers. So they double down and lose even more subscribers, and they get faster and faster as they circle the drain, desperately trying to regain the customers. They've got to change direction, but they don't seem to realize it. And Activision Blizzard are making a couple of decisions at the moment, which are ensuring this will be permanent. So prepare yourself, because this is going to get rough. Blizzard. Now, you realize how severe the problem is when you find out that Blizzard have lost 50% of their entire customer base over 3 years. Sure, Overwatch and World of Warcraft had some great years, but they let the games rot. Blizzard didn't put out enough quality content in the short period of time they were actually successful. And so the games died, as you would expect. People left because they were bored. That was the problem that needed to be fixed. But unfortunately, Blizzard and Activision have been hit with a 1-2 punch, which they've felt unable to actually defend themselves against. And it was this. They got sued because some of their employees have been engaging in behaviors that really have no place in the workplace. But there was an easy way to solve this. All they had to do is go out and punish the people which had been found to break the laws. That was it. Criminal convictions, civil convictions, get those people out of your company. And if anyone's been found to be guilty of just breaking internal policy, then you punish them as well. That's the way you deal with this kind of stuff. Otherwise, you risk actually damaging your product. But they went about it all the wrong way right from the start. It got expanded to temporary workers because they found out more people were affected by it. But then Blizzard starting shredding documents for some reason to try and hide it. Exactly the wrong thing to do. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I'm not a lawyer, but it seems like it should be. Blizzard have been accused of shredding documents, and then they found they were accused of committing labor violations because they were trying to stop employees talking about labor violations. I'm assuming that's an American thing. I have no idea what that means, but it really harms your reputation as a company, and that ends up being permanent. And remember, the actual problem is they didn't release enough content. This harms their reputation, but this harms their customer base. So what did they do? What did they try and do to reverse this decline? They started covering up women in the games. It's all solved, people. It's all solved. I mean, yes, there's a tiny, tiny bit of a feminine figure reviewing here, but what we really need to do is completely remove her entire chest and then just cover her up. Now, no customer wanted this. No customer activated this. There was no complaints about this. And yet this is what they changed. So if the customers aren't bothered by this, I can only assume they did this to stop this. They think that their staff are actually bothered by this. They think that their staff were apparently going around the offices assaulting other people because they saw this image and just couldn't control themselves. They're physically incapable of it. It's obviously not true. At least it shouldn't be true. And if it is, that is insane. But this is Blizzard, and so I can't be sure anymore. But what I do know is that this actually took time from creating products. They could have created content. They could have created content to turn back this decline, but instead they spent those resources. They spent those man hours changing this. And it's not the only one they did. There was also this, where they censored this woman lying down. It's just basically a classic piece of art you can find in many a gallery. But they didn't just cover up this woman. No, they just gave up on this one and turned her into fruit. Why fruit? I'm not sure. It's all very strange. As anything like this turns out, there's always something amazing that comes out from this. And did it come from the developers? No, this one came from the players. Because the memes were glorious. Honestly, I'm not sure you can top this kind of thing. This is the kind of thing that just proves that players are more creative than the designers. And that might be why those players have no intention to play your game anymore. Their humor, their content is just superior to yours. And it just carried on. And personally, my actual favorite has got to be this one. We've got the entire fruit woman. This is probably what look, if you'd done this lying down in that original photo, probably no one would have cared. It would have just been amazing. But obviously, when you find out that there's this kind of problem in a company, people are going to defend them. And I don't know where they climb out from. That's a lie, I do. This is a Valve artist. Yeah, working on Dota nowadays. And they come with this very strange critique of what they've done in this one. Look, this is an extremely quick and easy update. It probably took 15 minutes. And then they moved on to the low IQ take of trying to insult people's low IQ take. I'm gonna just put in the same amount of effort to return your volley as you sent it towards me. Look, be a bit more creative. You live in a world now where shame doesn't actually work on anyone with even a vague semblance of a spine. As you would put it, do better. Because they go on to complain again. This was over-sexualized. It's over-sexualized. Really, was it? Was it? Was it? Because that is, as far as I can tell, a feminine figure wearing a feminine dress. We see it all over the place. I don't think that's over anything. You can't even barely see anything. But the point here isn't that this is over anything. The point here is the 15 minutes. Because, look, this is a professional artist. If she says that this takes 15 minutes, okay. If you can do that in 15 minutes, I'm actually very impressed. But that's 15 minutes you could have spent on actual content. And that matters, because it's not going to be one piece of art. It wasn't one piece of art. And all of that 15 minutes to go to make content that players enjoy. It can go to make content that reverses this. The problem with Blizzard is that they're spending 15 minutes doing something which harms your game. And if anyone says that that does not harm your game, you don't know what you're talking about. There's a reason why people have always used attractive people to sell games. Because it matters. There's a reason why this was changed. Because it matters. That 15 minutes was used to actively detract from the quality of the game, not improve it. And that matters. But as you would expect, as anyone with even a bit of common sense should be able to understand, this isn't one picture. This is never about one picture. No one, when they actually talk about this, is even complaining about the picture. This is a symptom of a problem. This is a symptom of a core rot at the company. Their foundations as a company are being attacked. This is a sign that because by the time that you see a picture like this, you already know that the company has fallen. The rot has set in. This, to use their words, has become systemic from the head down, from the top down. Because by that point, all this is, it's a side effect. It's just showing you the direction of the company. It's showing you a top-down change from the managers down. That now they no longer care about actually improving the quality of the game. Now they care about censorship. And so when people comment on a picture like this, they're actually talking about a deeper issue, a permanent issue. And it's never just one picture. It's never just 15 minutes. As anyone with even, as they would put it, one single brain cell would be capable of understanding if they actually put any thought into it. And it's not like we don't have proof for this, because they've been changing other things. World of Warcraft updates problematic references to gigantic sacks and Paris Hilton. I'm sorry, but if you have a problem with anyone talking about a gigantic sack, the problem is on you. The entire point of that joke is that you're the one that interprets it that way. That's why it's funny. Because there's nothing clearly wrong with talking about a sack. The actual joke is the euphemism. The joke is the double meaning. And so when Blizzard go around and they remove references to sacks and gardening tools, everyone else finds that funny. Everyone else. And I would say that when you're the one on Twitter ranting about this, you're the problem, you're the exception. And here we have other examples which they changed a long time ago, and I want you to just look at the most important part of this image, because blink, and it'll be gone forever. That's what we found out. That is what Blizzard is spending their time doing, and I don't care how short this is. I don't care how quickly this can be done. This actively removes from this image. That's why that image was done in the first place, because it was better. And the longer you spend thinking about the need to change this, the less time you are making actual content for your company. And so people on Twitter can have surface level takes. They can go, oh my god, why are you criticizing a picture? When everyone else knows it's not about the picture. That picture had to have a discussion. There was a meeting involved. There was something that came down from the top and said, we need to change this. We need to change the direction of our company. We need to change the direction of our games. We need to go through our games and strip it of anything of any character. And so, this won't just be one picture, not one painting. They'll go through the characters, they'll go through all the models, and they'll go through every single line of dialogue in that entire thing, just looking, trying to desperately find something that might possibly be found offensive by somebody somewhere, maybe. And then they'll change that as well. The amount of hours that will go into this will be astronomical, far more than anyone actually realize. And we've seen this before. We've seen the amount of effort that people will go to. Even Twitter went round and they started listing things like this. Let me get my camera off so you can actually see the text. Look, they even got rid of words like grandfather, so replace it with legacy status. You can't even use actual words like guys. It's got to be folks, people, you all, and that people will come back to bite Blizzard, I'm telling you. Man hours are now person hours. Sanity check. You can't even say sanity check. No, it's a confidence check. We've got to see if it's coherent. Dummy value. Dummy value. Dummy value. These aren't words that anyone has a problem with. They're literally things that when you go out and look for problems, you will inevitably find them when you go through. Because they're not actual problems. They're all in your head. All of this is in their head. The problems that they're making up. And then when anyone comes to criticize them, they will come back with base level takes and pretend the problem is you. Because they're pretending that you have a problem with the picture. When actually the problem is with the core foundation, the ideology which is driving the change, which is actually causing people to change the picture. People are actually far more intelligent than this take is. They can see that this is more than a picture. This is about a battle for the company, the direction of the company, and the direction of their games, the direction as the gaming industry as a whole. And if anyone asks, why does that matter? Why does any of this matter? Why are you complaining about this? Look, they just make the games. If you don't like the games, don't buy them. The issue is this will take the entire company with them, all of their IPs, every game they ever make. Because when you make bad decisions like this, when you're in a mindset of we've just got to change stuff to change things, we need to bring people in who see these problems everywhere, that can actually find every single minor thing that somebody on the internet might find a problematic. When your decisions are made like that, you make major decisions which permanently affect your company. And the issue is, they've already made them. Activision have made decisions at this point which there is no coming back from by their company. And it's this. They've started hiring new people. They've started hiring new people in HR. And the issue with HR is those are the people that hire other people. Those are the people which come out with training, which changes the entire company. They change the entire culture of the company, the entire direction. They change the core, the soul of what that company used to be. And there's no coming back from it. The most powerful person in a company isn't the CEO. It's human resources. The CEO can tell people to do something, but HR will be the ones which hire people of certain ideas. And if they decide that they're going to hire only one sort of people, then that entire company changes. Everything they think all changes. And you'll never come back from that, because it would require someone else to come in and completely change all of the staff in the company all over again. Changing HR, getting control of HR, is how you change everything. And nothing shows that better than this. This is the press release they put out when they hired the person, and it has every single red flag in an article that I would have put if I wanted to make a parody of hiring something that was going to destroy Blizzard. Now, Julie Hodges used to work for Disney. You know, that glorious company which has only produced quality content for the last few years. When I think of quality content, the first thing in the front of my mind right now is Disney and Marvel. Wonderful, wonderful people, wonderful content they produce. Definitely the kind of people I want making my games. Yeah, they were the head of corporate HR and compensation, benefits and talent acquisition. That is your hiring. That is the important part. But it's the language that gets you. There's certain terminology which is used to signal that you're part of the tribe, signal to all the people on Twitter, all the people causing problems and coming out and attacking you right now. When you lose certain keywords, you're like, no, we submit, just leave us alone, we're just like you, we'll give you what you want. Words like this: she will lead all aspects of human resources, she will shape corporate culture by including diversity, inclusion, and equity. The great DIE. I can't think of a better person to make our commitment to an inclusive workplace. Believe me when I tell you, you don't want an inclusive workplace. Your workplace shouldn't include everybody. Your workplace should be exclusive. Because exclusivity is about standards. Inclusivity is about having no standards. If you include everyone, then there's no one that won't be allowed in. There's nothing that will actually prevent anyone from joining. And that's bad. Because not everyone is talented enough to work for a company. Not everyone can make games. Not everyone is capable of. They need skills. But if you want to only allow people of certain skills, of a certain talent, then that means necessarily excluding everyone below that level. And so if you're making an inclusive workplace, if you're including everybody, then you're going to lower that bar. You're going to reduce all of the standards. You're going to let anyone in. Even people who have no business being there because they're just terrible at their job. And that is the problem when you start talking about things like, we want the most inspiring, equitable workplace, the idea that everyone gets an equal outcome. I'm looking forward to seeing this CEO get paid as much as the janitors. That's not going to happen, is it? No, but you can't have equitable workplaces because people have different talents, different abilities, different standards of work. Some people produce better quality stuff than others. That is why you can't have equitable anything. Because you should get rewarded based on the job that you do, the quality of your output. But do you want to know what the only word that isn't mentioned in that entire article is? Do you want to know what the most important thing to have in your hiring practices? The only thing you should have in your hiring practices, and the one thing that this person whose sole job is to hire people has never mentioned? Merit. You hire people on merit. You hire people on the quality of their work, on their talent, on their actual ability to do their job. And that is the one thing she never cared about. No, she's going to hire people based on their physical characteristics, not on their actual ability to do the job well. And that will do permanent changes to the entire corporate culture. That will mean that from now on, the work will be done by lower skilled people because that isn't what they were hired for in the first place. And we have examples of it already through people like Sam Maggs. Someone that was never hired for a talent. She was hired for her beliefs. And anyone that thinks that, oh no, how do you know? Do we have any examples of her making terrible stuff? Yes. She wrote this.
All right, what happened?
To who?
To whom? And your goddamn father. Sorry, my face is tired from dealing with everything. And right now, I just want to know what happened with Alec. Not how he died. I pulled those logs. What happened with Pathfinder?
And when you hire people like Julie Hodges, which are not concerned with merit, not concerned with talent, but are more concerned with checking off boxes during the hiring procedure, of actively discriminating against the people they're hiring based on their physical characteristics, then look, you're gonna get more terrible talent like that. And look, she's gone into other things because she's been writing things like Vanguard, putting in the Stalingrad level. And that is why you saw presentations like you did with Vanguard, including clips like this.
I want to be that person. I kind of see myself in that person.
So who's your favorite character?
When I saw Daniel Yatsu, I thought to myself, hey, you know what? I want to be that character because that character kind of feels like me, you know? And I think that's huge.
We wanted to champion a lot of the forgotten stories. A lot of them are female-led stories. There are a lot of women that had a part in the war on the battlefield.
You know, once we made that call, it was really important to then really dig deep into find all those different characters.
I do think, though, there's a lot of opportunities for people to learn about new perspectives and new angles. They're all fictional characters.
So a lot of diversity in our characters, not just in their race, but in their appearance, their gender.
And if you've subscribed to me in the past, you'll know I wasn't a fan of Saints Row, and you probably weren't either. Which is why you'll, I think, personally enjoy this one. Polina and the new babe, Picture on the screen from Saints Row shouldn't make matching We Make Men Bad leather jackets, laughing my arse off. Do I seem like I'm mad? Is that what you get from this? Do I actually seem angry to you? Or is this more of a critique? Is this more me pointing out the destruction of the company that employs you? Because this isn't me angry. This is me. To be honest, I find the situation funny. I'm not interested in any of your properties. Why? Because you do this. When you destroy properties, when they hire people like you to write these kind of properties, I'm not interested in them. It's not my loss. It's everybody else's. I'm quite happy to sit here and make my entertainment like this. I'll make videos just cataloguing the destruction that you're causing. This isn't me angry. This is me completely bewildered that such a massive multi-billion-dollar corporation was taken over so easily, has been caused to fall so easily because they panicked, because they chose the wrong path, and they kept doubling down and make comments like this. Oh yeah, you should all die mad about it, because that is a great way to talk to your customers. Sam Maggs is someone that really knows how to get people on side and sell those games. Bros are really mad that Ray's a Mary Sue. This is a writer. This is someone which is writing Knights of the Old Republic, Vanguard, who wrote that gorgeous little piece in Andromeda there, who doesn't even realize that Mary Sues are terrible ways of writing, that only talentless hacks actually even need to write Mary Sues in the first place. And I'm just going to leave this on the screen because there's a lot of great things to see in this. All of her little posts that she's written. Now, yeah, I know you can go around and go, oh, they was written a long time ago. People shouldn't be punished for what they wrote a long time ago. And I completely agree. This isn't me actually saying that anything about her. This is simply showing the kind of person that Sam Maggs is. Because she still believes all of this stuff. This is me pointing out that this is what Activision Blizzard want in their company. This is what they think can solve things, like their lawsuits. They think you can get away with lawsuits like this, rather than just actually not doing it, and carrying on making quality content. Pump out more content to stop the decline of your games. No. They're not going to pump out more content for their games. Quite the opposite. They're going to lower the quality of the content they've already got, and they're going to hire people who think that posting stuff like this to your customers is a good idea. This is what I mean about the death spiral causing more and more customers to go down. The way out of the death spiral was to make more quality content. The death spiral choice, the destruction of your company, relied on stuff like this, of making decisions, of just giving in to the Twitter mob, rather than just improving the quality of your games at a faster pace and putting more stuff out. This is how a company dies. Because nobody wasn't aware of what Sam Maggs did. Sam Maggs has actually been very well known for a long period of time. As the title of this video shows, she was even offended back in GTA 5 because, oh no, you can make someone touch a character in the game. Your virtual avatar might be touched by another person, and that's horrible. This is someone who actually is just incapable of normal human interaction, of even standing normal human interaction. And those are the kind of people at Blizzard. Those are the kind of people making Overwatch 2, which is apparently coming out next spring, and I don't care about it. You only have to look at my background. I was a big Overwatch fan. I played it for years. It's one of my favorite shooters. And they destroyed it. They destroyed it because they didn't put out content. I am one of these people that left during this time period, and I left because I was bored. I left because of the bad balancing decisions. I left because the people in charge of the game didn't know what they were doing with the game. Look, as much as Jeff Kaplan was loved, he came up with this crawl, walk, run scenario where he thought that 3 heroes a year was enough. He thought he could improve it later on, and they never did. They slowed down from what he already admitted was a crawl. The problem with Blizzard was always the quality of its content was just too slow coming out. And so Blizzard, of all places, don't have time to mess with stuff like this. It doesn't matter if it's 15 minutes. The speed of their content is already too slow. They need to increase that, not lower it, by focusing on stuff that doesn't matter, because you have people like Sam Maggs in the company telling you it does, lying to the people in charge that it does. And that is how the company dies. That is how they accelerate the death spiral. Because when you're playing about changing things that don't matter, you don't have time for the things that do. And so as people leave, as everybody notices that you are ruining things like Vanguard, that Vanguard's release is awful, that the game is awful, even if they don't understand why, they will play that and they will understand that they're just not that interested in it. And then the sales will go down. And because the sales are going down, Activision will panic even more. What can we do? We've got to hire people. We've got to hire the wrong kind of people. And they will only make the company worse. And in making the company worse, they will hire people of no talent that might tick your right boxes, in your opinion. But they won't have the ability to turn your company around. And even if then you make a decision, even if at this point you make the right decision, now you've hired a load of people in your company who are incapable of following through on that choice, of actually entertaining your customers. There is no greater decision to make in your company than who the staff are that get hired in it. Because while a company may not actually care about anything, well, your company shouldn't have morals. Your company should care about money. There comes a point where even if you make the right decision, one that would make your company more profitable, now the staff don't care, because they don't care about profit, they only care about ideology. And that is the position that Blizzard have put themselves in. Activision Blizzard have made permanent changes to the soul, their staff at the company. And there's no going back from that, unless they completely change everything out and nuke everyone again. They'd have to scrape the insides of the company out again and fill them with actually quality talent. And it's easier said than done. It's far harder to hire good people than it is bad people. It's far harder to find quality people of talent to hire than it is to hire people to meet a checkbox. And there's no going back. That's why once you've hollowed out a company, you can't come back from it. When you've made these decisions, there's no going back. And that's why I think that the Activision death spiral is likely to be a permanent, ever-increasing, ever-faster descent down the plug hole. And if they come back from this, I will be incredibly impressed. But it's going to take someone of greater power, greater strength, and greater ability than someone who used to work at Disney. But for now, that's it from me. If you liked the video, press like and subscribe more videos in the future, and let me know what you think of the whole topic down below. I said this was going to be a rough one, so I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. But for now, that's it from me. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.